Today I want to tell you a story. It's a true story, and it involves an international heist. But this isn't a story about a bank vault in London or a masked crew in New York. This is a heist of the global economy, coordinated by the very people we are told are its protectors. As we wake up this Tuesday morning, the world is looking the wrong way. While the 98% are distracted by the chaotic collapse of leadership in Downing Street and record-high stock tickers on Wall Street, a secret deal has been finalized. It is a move designed to save a $38.6 trillion debt pile. And the loot of this heist, is the value of your hard-earned savings. Welcome to Money and Power. If you're new here, we don't do hype, we do the math. We're the 2% Club, the investors who see the strings before the puppet moves. You are here because you want a serious appreciation of how the power players are rigging the money to survive the 2026 collapse. By the end of this story, you will understand why physical silver is vanishing from UK dealers after the chaos of yesterday, how the US has convinced the rest of the world to help fund its supremacy, and why the AI prophet at the Federal Reserve is telling a fairy tale to keep you from smelling the smoke. Now, if you appreciate this deep level of narrative, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell. 2% Club grows when you share these truths. So send this to your WhatsApp groups. The mainstream is part of the diversion. They won't tell you how the vault is being emptied. So our story begins in Tokyo. Imagine a bridge connecting two massive banks. On one side, the US Federal Reserve. On the other, the Bank of Japan. Over the weekend, Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi secured a historic supermajority in the Japanese parliament. To the 98%, this was just a political headline. But in our story, Takaichi is the enabler. She has promised a budgetary bazooka of stimulus, spending money Japan doesn't have to fuel a growth engine that has been cold for decades. But there's a catch. Japan's debt is an eye-watering 200% of its GDP. If Takaichi's spending causes interest rates to rise, the infinite money heist, the yen carry trade, collapses. For years, the global elite have borrowed cheap yen to buy expensive US stocks. It's how they've stayed rich while you've dealt with inflation. So why is Japan playing along with American supremacy? It's survival. If the US dollar system fails, Japan's biggest customer and protector vanishes. So they struck a deal. The Fed and the Bank of Japan coordinated an intervention to keep the yen weak and the dollar strong. They saved the stock market, but in doing so, they deliberately suppressed the price of your gold and silver to make the paper dollar look like the only safe house on a burning street. Now, every heist needs a cleaner, the person who comes in after the crime to make everything look legitimate. In our story, that man is Kevin Warsh, Trump's pick for the Federal Reserve. Now here is the Warsh conundrum. Why would a president who wants a weaker dollar nominate a man famous for being an inflation hawk? A hawk should be raising rates, not lowering them. Well, this is where the storybook turns into a fairy tale. Warsh has rebranded himself as the AI prophet. He is telling the world that AI productivity is such a massive, invisible force that the Fed can lower interest rates without causing inflation. He's essentially saying, don't worry about the $38 trillion debt. The robots will pay it back. It's the perfect alibi. It allows the Fed to enter gradual print mode to fund the government's spending, all while appearing to be responsible. But the power side of this is brutal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just admitted that the White House isn't ruling out investigating the Fed if they don't play along with this low-rate regime. The locks have been removed from the vault. The heist is now being run directly from the Treasury. While this global rigging is happening, the thieves need a diversion. Now, in our story, that diversion is the total collapse of leadership in the United Kingdom. Yesterday, the Keir Starmer government hit a breaking point. His two most senior aides, the architects of his power, resigned in a cloud of scandal. The 98% are glued to the news, debating political resignations. But the 2% club is smelling the smoke. When power becomes this erratic, people stop trusting the currency. They look for the exit. And as of this morning, we're seeing the results. While the paper price of silver was rigged down to $82 to protect the dollar, remember it was lower, the physical reality in the United Kingdom is that the 2026 Silver Britannias are already out of stock at major dealers. Why is this happening? Because the public is smelling the coffee. They realize that the 82% price on the screen is a lie if you cannot actually buy the metal. The power players are trying to keep you in a paper trap, watching the political drama while they and the smart money scramble for the last of the real assets. They want you to hold the debt while they hold the metal. Now, you might ask, why would Europe or the BRICS nations allow this American supremacy? It's not because they love the system. It's because they are tethered to it. The euro is currently acting as the distracted guard. Germany is in a national depression and France is drowning in debt. They need the United States market to stay afloat. They are playing their part in the heist because they're waiting for their own exit ramp, the BRICS unit. This 40% gold-backed digital currency launched recently is the underground vault the rest of the world is building. They are helping the United States rig the current market today so they have time to move their assets into the new system tomorrow. It is a game of musical chairs on a global scale, and the music is about to stop. And then there is the ghost metal. While we focus on gold and silver, something quieter is happening. I've mentioned before that platinum is the one metal the central banks often forget to rig, but the 2% club knows that physical inventories are being drained. Now, in the United Kingdom, investors are hesitant because of the VAT, and that is exactly what the power players want. They want you hesitant. They want you focusing on the more expensive silver premiums while they quietly reclassify platinum as a critical strategic mineral. The heist isn't just about stealing your money, it's about stealing your opportunity. They want the 98% chasing Bitcoin or paper silver, while the truly limited physical assets are siphoned off into industrial and sovereign vaults. So our story today has a clear ending. The system is being rigged to buy time. The intervention between the United States and Japan, the AI profit and the Fed, and the political smoke in London are all part of a single, coordinated attempt to save a failing debt regime. Now, the 2% club doesn't panic. We don't follow the crowd up the hill. We watch the ratios. We see that gold is holding firm at around $5,036, proving the $5,000 floor we mentioned last week is real. We see that silver at $82 is a gift for those who can actually find physical stock. So my advice is, stay calm while others panic. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but to help you avoid the mistakes the 98% are making right now. So if you appreciate this storybook look into the heist of 2026, hit the like button. Share this on social media, especially the WhatsApp groups where the real conversations happen. Please also watch our platinum video next, which should appear on your screen. to understand the VAT-free strategies the 2% Club uses to beat the system, and look at our coverage through various videos on the bricks unit to see the new vault being built under our feet. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at our next video, or at least in the comments to this one.